How's it going, people? It's Charlie and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel for your opposition focus. It's a new feature that I will be doing from now on, guys, just moving forward, where I will be asking a fan of the team that Leeds are playing every week, just to give us an insight from the other side's perspective, their season so far, the transfer window from their perspective as well, their overall thoughts on Leeds and how they think this game will go. So this week, Leeds are playing Burnley on Sunday afternoon at Turf Moor. So I've asked Joe from the Turfcast podcast to send over his thoughts on this week's game and Burnley's start to the season. So just before I hand over to Joe, guys, please smash the like button, please subscribe, and yeah, over to you, Joe.
Hi guys, my name is Joe Redmond and I'm from Turfcast podcast, just here on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel to chat Leeds, because of course Burnley are playing Leeds this weekend at Turf Moor. And it should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. Always good games, Burnley and Leeds. Not so much last season, and I don't just mean in terms of results there. We'll get on to that. But I think the good thing about sort of like Yorkshire, Lancashire rivalries is you know, the atmosphere and the banter and things like that they have with the fans. So it's not just Leeds, you know, it's the other teams that, you know, are from across Yorkshire as well. You know, we played Sheffield United over the last couple of seasons. That's been good. Previous years we've played Sheffield Wednesday a lot. You know, it's Bradford in the past as well. It's always the main sort of teams from Yorkshire that you always look forward to playing to. But Leeds is obviously up there. Leeds are going to travel well, as they always do. You know, it's not far away as a Turf, so obviously I think you were there, probably sell out. If you haven't sold out, I'll be very, very surprised actually. I don't think there's been a time when you've come to the Turf and you haven't sold out. But it's what you come to expect from Leeds. But yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Hope it's a good crack. Hope it's a good atmosphere. I'm pretty adamant it'll be a good atmosphere from both sets of fans. Obviously, we've both got off to indifferent starts. Admittedly, you played Manchester United on the first game of the season, so probably expected to lose. Maybe not that heavy. I'm not so sure. But and then you bounce back against Everton, not with the result. But you know, with the performance, and having said that, a 2-2 against Everton, I think is an okay result. I think this season they're going to be well oiled, well drilled under Benitez. So I think not a lot of teams will get a draw against Everton. I think they'll do well. They might even I think they might be the best of the rest, Everton, this season. Maybe finish 7th, something like that. 8th, somewhere around there. But that's a different debate. In terms of our season so far, obviously, I've just mentioned yours there, but I was a little similar, you know, a bit of an indifferent start, not really overly happy with it. There's been performances there that have made us think like, oh, you know, maybe, you know, we've just got off to a poor start. But then on the flip side of it, you know, we've obviously lost both games, so that's not a good sign for us. The first game against Brighton, I was saying before the ball was even kicked that game was massive, because you look at the fixtures that we had after Brighton. Obviously, we've got you boys this weekend. We've just played Liverpool, which of course we lost as well, and we've got Arsenal coming up. Admittedly, aren't as good as they used to be, but that's a different debate. And City as well, not too far away. So I was saying before a ball was even kicked that Brighton game was massive, and we ideally needed to win it, because we always seem to start slow in the Premier League. So again, I'm not overly worried yet. But the one time that we started well is when we beat Chelsea, who at the time were the champions, 3-2 at Stamford Bridge on the opening day of the season. And then from there, the momentum's behind you, you're riding on the crest of a wave, all the pressure's off you about when are you going to get your first win, and you're not playing catch-up. And then from there, we just had a fantastic season, finished 7th, qualified for the Europa League. So I was hoping that we could get off to a good start again, then maybe get the Liverpool game out of the way, and then go into the game against you boys, you know, in some decent, you know, with points on the board already and a win on the board already. But that's not the case, and I think we'll look going into it now a little bit worried for the season. A little bit about the game as well, but I think at this stage, you know, I look ahead a lot more at this stage. I'm thinking that, you know, that the season is panning out in this sort of way and things like that. But just looking at the game, the Leeds game, I've spoken to a few Leeds fans already. I've been on a couple of other Leeds channels. We've got a Leeds fan on ours previewing the game this weekend, and there seems to be a confidence amongst you boys in it. And if you look at, like I said, how the results went last season, I don't really blame you for that. But I think if you want to look at last season and you want to sort of like wonder how this game is going to pan out. I think it's going to be more like the game at Ellen Road than the game at the Turf Moor. The reason because is when we played you at the Turf, I think the week before that we'd secured safety, and we just took us foot off the gas, honestly. We just weren't at the races at all. And even though you were already safe and you were pretty much guaranteed a mid-table finish, it's not something that you would imagine Bielsa would let his side do, any of his sides do, is take the foot off the gas. You know that he's in your face in the changing room or whatever he does, however he does it, telling you that no, that you can't take your foot off the gas, you have to still press for 95 minutes or whatever, constantly, high speed, high press. Whereas I think Wheels just took his foot off the gas, we weren't really at the races. And you just absolutely dominated the midfield, and that's what worries me about this game, is how good your midfield is. Obviously, Click and Phillips, both fantastic players. We've looked at them both in the past before you got promoted. And obviously, Phillips was fantastic in the Euros this summer as well. And we are quite lightweight in midfield. So I think when you compare the two midfields, I think you will have a lot of joy there. And I think if you do win the game, you will win the game in midfield. I think that's how you won it last season. You just absolutely bossed us in midfield. Like I said, the two that I've just mentioned absolutely ran the show. You were getting in behind as well because you were winning the midfield battle. So it just all round for us just wasn't a great watch, to be honest. But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be more like the game at Ellen Road. It's going to be scrappy. It's going to be tense. Maybe one goal in it. Maybe a draw. That's what I'm predicting anyway. I'm predicting 1-1. In terms of lineup, I'm thinking, obviously from a Burnley perspective, we're playing tonight in the Carabao Cup. It's half time at the minute. I'm quickly doing this while it's half time. So I would have liked to have seen more changes tonight, to be honest. We are playing a mixture of first teamers. Chris Wood's playing, for example, Jay Rodriguez, Ben Mee, and a few others as well. I think Lawton and Taylor are playing off the top of my head. I can't remember. So I would have liked to see more changes for tonight's game. Thinking ahead to the game on Sunday against you boys. But in terms of our lineup, I think obviously Nick Pope will be in goal. Then it's Charlie Taylor at left back, Ben Mee and Tarke at centre back, Matthew Lawton on the right. And then on the left of midfield it's probably Dwight McNeil. In the middle, now I'm not really sure. I'm thinking ahead to your midfield. I'm thinking of maybe going a 4-5-1. With a view to it being sort of like a 4-3-3 when we have the ball. So 4-5-1 and packing midfield when you have the ball and trying to stop you from winning that midfield battle so easily with your high press and your high tempo and two fantastic players. So I'd probably go Dwight McNeil on the left, Wester and Cork in the middle with Brownhill there as well, and Goodmanson on the right with Chris Wood up top. And then as soon as we get the ball, you're going to obviously, you don't want Chris Wood isolated up front on his own. I know you boys obviously know him very well. He's a very good finisher, and he's probably the best finisher we've had at the club in years. But his all-round play, obviously sometimes you don't want him running at the ball with his feet, running with the ball at his feet, for example, and dribbling up the pitch. You want him coming into the box and supplying balls to his head and just getting on the end of chances created. That's where Wood is at his best. That's why he's scored 14 goals for 3 seasons in the Premier League for us. So what we're going to need to do, if we do the 4-5-1, which to be honest I don't think Dyche will do, but that's what I'd do, is make sure when we have the ball we're constantly pressing you, trying to play you at your own game. And that's why I have Brownhill in there, because off the ball, Brownhill is the best midfielder that we've got. On the ball, he's probably the worst. So I'd have him in there for just getting in your faces, just pressing you when you can, trying not to give Click and Phillips any time on the ball, just that extra man to help out with that midfield battle to hopefully we can win it. And then as soon as we get the ball, get Dwight and Goodmanson bombing forward, helping Chris Wood out, try and get the ball into Wood's feet. He can hold it up, spray it out to one of the wingers who I've just mentioned who are running up. Woody then spins, gets on it, ball in, header. And that's obviously where Woody's at his best. So fingers crossed for us. But like I said, it's going to be a good game. I'll say what I'll say to every Leeds fan if you are going to Turf Moor at the weekend. I recommend the cricket club. It's just behind the ground. It's always welcome for away fans. You will get home fans in there as well. But obviously, it's not that sort of place, despite what some people try and tell you. It is Burnley. It's a lovely place. And I know all the fans that will be in the cricket club will be lovely fans, and we'll have a chat with you and things like that. And it's a good place to go. It welcomes away fans, and it's good crack. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. hopefully it's a Burnley win. I'm sure you boys will disagree, but good luck for the rest of the season, apart from Sunday and apart from when we play at Ellen Road as well.
So then, guys, there you have it. Those are the thoughts from Joe from the Turfcast podcast about the Burnley versus Leeds game on Sunday. As I said at the start of this upload, guys, please smash the like button. Please subscribe and share your thoughts and opinions on everything that Joe has just talked about there. And I will see you in my pre-match thoughts upload, which will be on the channel tomorrow night, guys. Thank you very much.